Hey guys, welcome back to Glam Finds. And just like I did in the fall, I have decided to bring to you 5 cheapies that you can wear in the winter. We're going to start off with the cheapest one and we're going to get right into it. So let's go. First one on this list is one that you could get for under $10 at a rack store and probably under $10 online as well, and it's going to be Cuba Prestige with the ugliest bottle in town. The entire top plastic piece that may have cost about 5 cents to produce just comes completely off like that. But at least this is like not too bad. Honestly, I would probably just keep this and toss this. This is probably gonna break at some point. And if I use this more, it probably would have already broken. But let's talk about this scent. So this opens up really fresh, really clean with citruses, lavender, just the freshest of notes. But once this dries down, you're gonna get kind of an ambery, woody scent, and I think it's actually really pleasant. This will get you compliments. It will not get you good longevity, so my suggestion with this one is spray a ton. Not only spray a ton, but spray a ton, wait about, 10-15 minutes, and then respray. That's kind of how you layer your fragrances with each other, but it actually gets you a little further in terms of longevity than not doing that. That's kind of, I don't remember who said that they did that, but I was like, oh, I'll give it a shot. And I tried it and it actually works really well. So if you have cheap fragrances or probably most designer fragrances and even some niche fragrances these days that you just can't get to perform really well, try that. That might actually work. Again, it's worked for me. So this one's gonna be the cheapest one on the list and it works really well. I mean, I feel like you can wear it pretty formally in the winter or even during the day. For me, winter, the line between day and evening fragrances kind of gets real blurred because if it's something that's sweet, I still don't care. It's cold enough so I can wear it during the day. I'm not really super, upset about it. And I'll definitely wear a dark fragrance during the day. I do not care. A lot of times if I'm going to work or a climate controlled environment, I'll do that anyways. But in winter, I feel like you guys can get away with a lot more. So for me, all of these are day or night. Typically, they'd be an evening scent, but I think you can wear any of these day or night right now because it's gonna be cold enough. Maybe not so much here. Right now, it's about 60 degrees outside, but I know most of you guys are not sitting in, 60 degrees in the winter, so next. So this next one, I hated with my entire heart. And some days when my allergies are not having a good time, I still can't really handle it, but some days I actually like it now. If you haven't already guessed, the fragrance we're talking about is going to be Bentley for Men Intense. Now, before I even get into the scent of this, I don't think this is a safe blind buy. I was very unhappy when I blind bought this. I hated it. And I know a lot of you guys hate this. This one's really strong. To me, definitely only winter. And this one I'll still wear during the day, but be a little cautious if you do have 60-degree heat outside. I mean, I guess that's not very hot, but I would probably go closer to 55 and lower, or if you're indoors, just use, 3 to 5 sprays and you'll be okay. As long as it's like a really cold environment. Like my work, they keep it really cold, so it's a different story. But this one, you guys already know, has all the heavy hitters. It's tons of incense. You got rum, you got black pepper, you got woods, leather, and it's sweetened with a little bit of benzoin, but I really don't feel that benzoin right when you spray it. It takes a minute for that benzoin to come out and kind of, I feel like, tame it a little bit. I do like that. I feel like it sweetens it enough for it to be a little bit more wearable. I don't love this in the opening. I think it's pretty aggressive. I know a lot of you guys love that. It's a 50-50 shot. Some days I don't mind it. Again, this is not gonna be a love for me. I just feel like this is really cheap. And you can wear it in the cold. It's like $30 and it definitely cuts through the cold and it's a really appropriate winter fragrance. So this is gonna be one that if you don't have and you are not a newbie to the game, you need to be like real advanced, you might wanna pick up. If you haven't already, it's definitely gonna get the job done in the winter for usually under $30. Next. So this next one I'm only putting on here because I know a lot of you guys will like it. And I'm gonna say this one is sweeter than I typically like to go for, but it's going to be Halloween Man X. I do like the coffee note in this. I didn't initially love this one. I liked it, but I never really loved it. But I do notice that when I do wear it, because every now and then I do want to smell that coffee note, I get compliments. And I do like that it opens up with some freshness. I like anything that opens up with freshness. I think it's kind of nice, it's warm. But this one for me is gonna be mostly that roasted coffee note, tonka, and cardamom. That's what makes this a sweet fragrance. And it's a good fragrance, don't get me wrong, but I think it's better for the people that are smelling it off of you versus you smelling it so strongly on yourself. I don't always love a very sweet fragrance, and I feel like this one comes off a little sweeter than I would have personally liked it to be. I think if they would have pulled back the sweetness just a smidge in this, I would have liked it a little bit more. It's really not bad. I mean, I love cardamom so much. So this one has that cardamom and it smells really good. But it's gonna be really appropriate for the winter. I think it's gonna cut through the cold. Performance, it's not like a huge monster, but if you spray enough, I honestly think it'll get you through well over the 8-hour mark. And the projection is actually not bad for the first hour and a half, and if you spray enough, I think you can push over the 2-hour mark. I've been kind of experimenting with spraying extra and seeing what it does, and it really makes a huge difference, guys. You might as well use your fragrances. I know all of you have a ton of them. I don't think people that aren't rocking more than a couple handfuls of fragrances even watch fragrance videos. Think about that. But I think this one is really appropriate. Again, I think it was overhyped. That's why I wasn't the biggest fan, because for me, like the way they were talking about it, I thought it was going to be like the best fragrance and I was going to be done with my fragrance journey after I picked it up. That didn't happen. So that was like, oh, I think they may have overhyped this one. Next. So this one is marketed for women, but I think if you're a man that has no problem wearing Dior's Poison Girl, you will probably also enjoy this. It is going to be Armaf's Eternia. Now, the bottle is, I don't know, it doesn't exactly look super expensive, as you can tell. It looks like a lighter. Not a good lighter, one that breaks after 2 uses. But hey, the cap is magnetic and it's a lighter cap, so what can you do? It was around the $25 mark, and the notes in this are gonna be floral, but I get some creamy florals because there's orange blossom in this as well as orange. So you have those two. You got a little freshness from lemon. There's a little bit of rose, but it's not a heavy rose or anything like that. I think the note that I really enjoy in this is almond, and then you have tonka and vanilla and sandalwood. So this comes together as a really nice fragrance. I don't usually love sweet fragrances, but for some reason this one I just really enjoy, and I think the other reason that I really enjoy it is I actually get some insanely good performance on this. Like if you spray your clothes, it stays until it gets washed, and you may faintly smell it after that. It's so good in terms of like just sticking onto the clothes that you spray it on, and I feel like I smell myself for a really long time after I spray this. So the nose blind effect just doesn't go in with this. If you like sweet fragrances that are borderline gourmand, this is just so good. This is so good. Again, it's not a masculine fragrance. It definitely leans super feminine, but I think a lot of fragrances that say unisex are the same. And I think some men's fragrances are gonna be just as sweet as this with the same amount of florals. So honestly, you gotta try stuff on your own skin. Worst case scenario, I don't think any female would dislike this. So if you buy it, you don't like it, just give it away. It's like 25 bucks maybe. Oh, but it smells so good. It's the almond. Honestly, like, I think when they put almond in fragrances, it makes them so much more pleasant, sophisticated, you know? I think like the L'Homme Ideal line, that almond note in the L'Homme Ideal cologne just changes it as a freshie for me and makes it definitely top 5 freshies. It's about the almond, and they just did almond so well in this. I really enjoy it. If you haven't smelled this and you've got 25 bucks burning a hole in your wallet, honestly, it's a really nice one. Next. This one I've talked about plenty of times before, and I'm really trying to like stress this because I think in the year when you guys can't find this, you're gonna be like, oh, I wonder what happened. This fragrance line has been discontinued. The company has come out and said they're not renewing their contract with, well, 24, and it's 24 Go Dark by Scent Story. So if you don't have this and you like really dark fragrances and you're a big fan of patchouli, you have to have this. This is such a dark fragrance with a lot of freshness to it. It's got green apple in it, which you guys already know I love. And it's got a lot of fresh notes. So when it opens up, it's fresh. And you're gonna get wafts of freshness throughout the day when you wear this. And it's so good. It's not the safest blind buy. You kind of really have to know that you love dark fragrances to basically know that you're gonna love this. I mean, you're definitely gonna get patchouli, black pepper, leather, a little bit of sage I think you're gonna pick up in it. Not a ton, because again, I think you're just gonna get like a hint of it, but it's really nice. You'll smell the vetiver in this. It's not a dirty vetiver, but again, it kind of just, everything's blended in really well. Definitely the vanilla. The vanilla is what sweetens it. You're not gonna get too much of the vanilla until it starts to dry down, but I feel like the vanilla sweetens it enough for me. To me, it's just patchouli heavy with some fresh notes, a little bit of that pepper, some vetiver, and just the dry down, you're gonna start getting that vanilla, and it's really nice. But again, I really enjoy dark fragrances. If you like things like Tom Ford Black Orchid, like the darkness and that, I think you're gonna like this. It's not anything similar to that. I'm just saying darkness wise, I think you'll enjoy something like this if you enjoy that. Again, if you pick this up, I'm going to predict this. If you don't like it when it sells out and people are like, oh no, I forgot to pick up a bottle. I didn't know that this was gonna sell out, even though they said that they weren't gonna make any more for the last year. I know, whatever, it's always what happens. And that's why, because I've done it too, I just pick up everything that says that it's discontinued, because I don't wanna regret it. You might as well just have it and then sell it for more, who cares? Worst case scenario is I make a profit. So that one's really good. Again, if you like dark fragrances, that's really nice. And honestly, year-round date night fragrance, that's a banger. People like dark, people like seductive. That is dark and seductive. As always, thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.